Class 3A rankings heading your way, and let me tell you, we might just have a new number one in Class 3A. You're gonna have to hang on and find out. Again, the top seed did not lose, but our ranker, is kind of on the fence about who should be number one in this really competitive class. So you're gonna have to stay and hang out to the end to see if we've got a new number one at the top of Class 3A. But nevertheless, before we get started, I will say, we've got more playoff predictions coming your way. Our ranker working hard, predicting RPI. We got more information on district champions, all that good stuff with some crucial games this week that really affected a lot of things. Some monster matchups, including some big ones in the District of Death. Obviously, Independence losing is kind of throwing a wrench into things that look like they might wrap up a district championship still, though. So still a lot of things to figure out in Class 3A, but we're going to have more rankings coming your way, more predictions. You guys like that stuff. That video absolutely blew up, so we appreciate it. If you want more of that stuff, be sure to like this video so we know. The likes just kind of help us see what people are liking and what people enjoy watching. But you guys absolutely blew up the Class 3A bracket predictions video. That was like one of our most viewed videos on our channel. So Class 3A is treating us very well. We appreciate you guys for always tuning in and checking us out. But without further ado, let's get into your guys' top 16. This will be the second to last top 16 before the playoffs. Again, we'll have one next week for you before the postseason and when that all comes out. But here it is for week 8 in Class 3A. Starting at number 16, Algona. Gosh, right when you think they got it going, they absolutely get smacked by Webster City. Webster City, again, that District of Death is just proving every week someone else is standing out. And right when you think you got it figured out, something flips and you're totally wrong. So Algona, they take a tough loss to Webster City, 47-0. Still looking to hang on and get in the playoffs. Again, you'll have to stick around and see for our playoff predictions where they exactly land. And another team really kind of suffering a tough loss. Independence loses to West Delaware. I will say, my third dog of the week that won. I'm pretty sure I went 3 for 7 on upset picks, which is impressive, I think. But West Delaware, their ground-heavy attack, Brent Yankovic, I think the rain affected it. They had to play that game early. I think it just kind of threw things off, and West Delaware gets a huge win over Independence. So Independence falls to number 15, and West Delaware enters our rankings. They've been kind of hopping in and out, but a really big win for them over there. At number 13, Hampton Dumont Cal. We talked about them needing a big win, and they get just that in against Charles City, 46-0. And let me tell you, Hampton Dumont Cal fans, you are right on the edge. I'm not going to reveal where you're at in our Class 3A RPI predictions, but you are on the bubble. That March Madness, first 4 in, last 4 out, you are right there. So you really need a win this week. I know you're going to have one. I'm not sure who you still have left in the District of Death. I don't know that off the top of my head, but either way, it's basically a must-win at this point. You really need that one. So Hampton Dumont Cal might be the one team in the District of Death not quite able to crack it in. So we'll see how they handle this week. At number 12, Harlan. They beat Atlantic 27-6. Nice win for Harlan, bouncing back. I heard some stuff about Cade Sears possibly being injured. I hope that's not true. I haven't checked the stats and whatnot, but Harlan, if they get in, they're going to cause havoc again as a wild card with Nevada and Creston over them. So Harlan picking up a nice win over the Trojans. At number 11, Webster City. Really, I think one of the most jaw-dropping wins of the week, like I just said, beating Algona, who had just beat Clear Lake. Again, really a good bounce-back spot for Webster City, and Algona was probably coming off that big win over Clear Lake and probably had the emotions going. And Webster City with Jackson Cherry, can never count them out. They just stomp on Algona, 47-0. Just a really eye-opening win in Class 3A. Heading into your top 10 teams, though, and at number 10, another member of the District of Death, Humboldt at 5-3. They beat Clear Lake 34-0, which is another eye-opening score. There's just so much happening in Class 3A right now, frankly. It's kind of a mess besides the top 3 or 4. But if you enjoy an air raid game, look away. Humboldt blows undefeated Clear Lake out of the water while also getting a shutout, having 6 combined passing yards between these two teams. Lance Kuhn and Cohen Matson combined for 224 and 5 touchdowns. Clear Lake fumbles twice, and the District of Death strikes again. Humboldt now the favorite to win the district. Them and Webster City right up there at this point in the season. That game, again, this week was so weird across all classes, and I really feel like the weather played a big part. By no means is that an excuse, because it's football. It happens, but some teams just match up so much better than others when it comes to the rain, especially in high school. And Humboldt, just matched up better in this game with Lance Kuhn. So they get a big win and jump back into our top 10. At number 9, Nevada, they lose to Creston 42-28. They drop a few spots, nothing too bad. No, though Nevada takes a loss to one of the top teams in Class 3A. They had tons of late life, scoring 21 in the fourth quarter. Just wasn't enough to get in an upset, and they're going to wrap up a runner-up spot in that district. Really impressive, though, with the win over Harlan. They're going to put themselves in a good spot. At number 8, Clear Lake lost to Humboldt 34-0, undefeated no more. The Lions take their first loss of the season with just one game remaining in the season. I have some question marks surrounding this game. Quarterback Cale Stephanie had a great season with 700-plus yards and 7 touchdowns. And he only had 2 passing attempts in this game. Again, our ranker probably confused with the stat line, but I'm telling you, I saw some clips from that one. It looked rainy. It looked awful. And just one of those things where you just didn't match up well. Our ranker says he's looking for Clear Lake to rebound this week versus the last place team in their district, Charles City. I think Clear Lake needs to win that one, and I think Webster City needs to lose, and Clear Lake locks up a district title. At number 7, Bishop Heelan, they beat Sergeant Bluff Luton 34-14. Not much to say here. The Crusaders take care of business against a weaker Warriors team. They have one last test next week against MOC Floyd Valley, with the winner locking in second place in the district and a bid into the playoffs. Big game right there. At number 6, Sioux Center, the champion of that district that we just mentioned, they beat Carroll 25-6. Another week, another win for Sioux Center, having already beat the 2 top teams in the district. Sioux Center clinched and is in cruise control for their last game and ready to roll, knowing they are basically going to wrap up home field for the first few rounds of the playoffs. Heading into the top 5, though, starting with Assumption. As I tab it over, I clicked on the wrong thing. There we go. Assumption beat Keokuk 48-0. They hop into our top 5. Outside of Williamsburg, this might be the most frightening non-district winner in the class. Assumption, as we have mentioned before, 2 great losses, as great of losses can be, against Mount Vernon and North Scott. Any higher-seeded team playing Assumption is definitely on upset watch. At number 4, Mount Vernon, they beat Washington 65-6. Outside their one loss to a Solon team that we now know is elite and contending, the Mustangs have looked extremely consistent and dominant in their games. The offense gets better every week, and their defense is not getting near enough credit. Outside the Solon game, this defense has not allowed more than 14 points all year long. At number 3, Williamsburg, they beat Grinnell 63-8, 9.5 tackles for loss, 5 passing touchdowns, 4 rushing touchdowns. Derek Weiskopf thrives at quarterback in Cockrell's absence this week, and Williamsburg is firing on all cylinders as we head into the playoffs. Williamsburg, they're going to be a runner-up, and I would want nothing to do with them as a district champion playing a district runner-up. Whoever they face just is going to be very upset with their draw. Again, Williamsburg going in as a runner-up in all likelihood. At number 2, Solon at 7-1. They beat Fairfield 42-6. Solon clinches the district champion position with the win over Fairfield. This intense top-tier defense led by Brett White they're a force, and I was really impressed watching them in person. And their offense they just need to do enough to put them over the edge. Solon's defense is just incredible. Again, led by Brett White. It could be a dangerous team if they play their cards right. And at number 1, your new number 1, the Creston Panthers. Well deserved. I believe this has got to be the only undefeated team remaining in Class 3A. They beat Nevada 42-28, a really impressive win for them. And what a season it's been for the Panthers. They get a district title with this huge win over Nevada. Despite the late life by the Cubs, Creston was dominant and in complete control in the entire game. They got Cale Turner, they got Brendan Hayes, but I tell you what, they got some role players around them. That's what really takes this team to the next level, because when you face those really good teams, they're going to find a way to stop your key players. It's going to be those outside guys, the guys you don't really expect to beat you that need to do that, and Creston has just a ton of contributors. I love their line play. Again, watching them a few weeks ago, I was really, really impressed. They are a ton of fun to watch, and their journey to Cedar Falls is going to start in a few weeks, and they're going to have a great draw because of how well they played throughout the regular season. But Class 3A, that's all I got for you. That is your second to final top 16. Sorry, you'll have another one. 1 week left to go. We got some district champs ready to wrap some stuff up. A lot of them already wrapped up, and we got postseason content coming your way. So Class 3A fans, this is one of the more exciting classes in my opinion. I'm super excited for this one, but I'll catch you later this week for some bracket predictions.